we have an NL. Sorry, no, we have. Yeah, actually, no, we do have a National League West, an NL West divisional matchup lined up today with the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres. So we are going to jump into it, and there is a hit to deep right field at the warning track off the wall. And Charlie Blackmon is, oh, not Charlie Blackmon, Hunter Renfroe struggles to find it, and that is going to be good for a double. And that was a fantastic hit by Eric Lauer. So we jump right into it. And like I said, we are a little bit behind. So it is very easy for us to kind of see what is going on. And that looks like I might have just got a bingo there potentially with Tatis Machado and Blackmon. So that looks like it might have given me some points there. I am currently ranked 11th right now, as you can see on the board. But obviously, because Colorado is losing right now 3-1, my pitching is obviously not where it needs to be, and that's kind of a huge problem right now. And so we will see kind of as the game progresses if that's going to remain the score or if Colorado can come back. Now, that was a very great first pitch, very first at bat for them to come back, and which really helps us out. And like I said, Blackmon is on my roster. Charlie Blackmon is on my roster, so that was good. Now we do have Story coming up, and I do believe we have Story. Story is also in a very critical position in that top right-hand corner. So he is at -1 right now. So he is 0 for 1. He does have a strikeout earlier in the game, but we're gonna let that one slide, and hopefully he gets on base here. But that does not look good right there. That is a strike. So the count is 1-1. And I do not know who that old guy is, but he looks like he's pretty fired up about something. And he's just going on, and I don't know. I have no context for that, so I can't explain that. But here we go, back to the game. The 1-1 pitch, and gets a piece of it, and that goes to deep left field at the wall again. And Josh Naylor is actually also having trouble with that. And Colorado scores, so there's an RBI for Story, and that brings Blackmon home. So that is huge for all of us. So boom, so right there. So so we are actually eligible for another bingo right now, actually. So we are ranked 6th. So we went from 17th to 6th so far, and we don't even have any outs currently yet in the inning, which is phenomenal because who is it? Trevor Story, I believe. Yeah, Trevor Story gets the double. Ooh, high fastball, strike 1. So Eric Lauer is pitching. He's been doing fairly well, but I mean, he has been struggling a little bit, especially in the last few games against the Rockies. In his last 4 starts against the Rockies, he's actually averaged a 12.51 ERA, and I didn't mispronounce that. He is averaging a 12.51 ERA. He is one of the main reasons why I actually went with Colorado in this game. Unfortunately, so far that has not worked out, but again, Colorado is only down by 1 run right now, and that tying run is on second in scoring position. So we'll have to see kind of how that plays out. Now, obviously, Arenado is as well on our board. Now, he is 1 for 1 on the day. He has a 308 average, and there is a quick little one-hopper. Oh, but they get him in time, and he is out at first. And Arenado is not happy about that one. Now you can tell right there that so you don't traditionally slide in at first, but he was hoping for a little more, just to be a half a second faster, and I don't know about that one. That one looks very tight. But I think they did just get him in time. Ooh, that is very close. Very close. And here we go. We get a better view of it. He might be safe. He might be safe. I think, you know what? They might actually have to review this one. Yeah, it looks like they are reviewing it currently. So we will see if he's on base, because if he is actually on base, then that would give me a bingo, which would be huge. That would be my third of the game, and that would actually propel, because I do have Eric Hosmer has 2.5 points, Trevor Story has 2.5 points, and then to get one from Nolan Arenado would be awesome to get a third, or third bingo. But I would like to get some more diagonals, obviously. That's kind of where I'm really missing it. But again, Colorado's pitching hasn't been where it should be. So as mentioned, Eric Lauer has a ridiculously high ERA in his last 4 starts against the Colorado Rockies. But on the season, he's actually 6 for 8 with a 4.43 ERA. He has 87 strikeouts and 1.34 WHIP. So not terrible numbers by any means, but he definitely has struggled a lot this season. So I can understand, like I said, that was kind of my main focus when I thought about going between Colorado and San Diego. And so far, I think it's going to come back. I think it'll be okay. Once Colorado gets like a little more into the hang of it, it'll be interesting. Now, obviously, both these two teams have struggled significantly this year. They're actually both at the bottom of the NL West. San Diego has a record of 52 and 61. They're 6.5 games back of the wild card, where Colorado is 52 and 62, and they're 7 games back of the wild card. So, you know, neither of these teams really have a chance to do anything in the postseason. So they're kind of just playing for next year, and you know, hopefully they'll be able to bring a few guys up from the minor leagues and get them some experience and kind of see how that plays out for them. So we'll see how that goes. But they are still reviewing this play, and like I said, I think he might have actually been safe. That was super close, but he might have been safe. And as I mentioned before, I really do hope that he is safe. But we can just quickly check the overall ranks while we are here. And Jay Style is again number 2, so he's got a score of 24.75. So we can take a look at his board, and he did go with San Diego. Now San Diego again isn't doing just as bad as we are. So Daniel Murphy has a chance to bring in the runner at third, which would be huge for us, obviously. Funny story, I do know a Daniel Murphy back home, and Daniel Murphy actually was he's a professional bodybuilder, huge guy, like 240 pounds at his lightest, and it's just massive. So, but an athlete nonetheless. So, and I'm sure Daniel Murphy seems like a pretty common name. I can't really see that being too Daniel Murphy. Yeah, it's super common. It's got to be. So Daniel Murphy is up. There's 1 strike. We have 1 out. No balls. And the 0-1 pitch gets a piece of it, but pops it up deep into left field in the gap, and yet Manny Machado is there to get it, and that holds the runner at third still. So we have 2 away. So if you actually look at the a majority of the lineup and who I have on my board, it is a lot of there's a lot of Colorado Rockies, and it's really like the first 4 guys in the lineup. So Arenado, Blackman, Murphy, Story, and then Mahome. Now Mahome. Anyway, so the reason I picked him is not like his batting average is slightly less than Desmond, but I didn't want the first 5 guys only. So I did kind of want to have a little bit of a gap there. Not that it makes a huge difference, but I wanted to break up their lineup a little bit more. So we will have to see what happens here now. Again, I still am now 6th place, which is phenomenal. And Story still has a chance to come home. So if Mahone can bring him in, that would be something else. Ooh, curveball, far outside. So that will be ball 1. So the count is 1-1. Ian Desmond is averaging 266 on the year. He has an 802 on-base percentage, 13 home runs. Now, the 1-2 pitch, and that is fouled away. And the ball rolls back into play, but it is still foul. As you can see, this is a replay of Tatis, and that is a fantastic play that he made at shortstop. Getting the throws just in time, and that's the kind of shortstop that you need. Somebody who's going to be able to make those diving throws, but not just that, be able to have the arm to make the throw at first, because that is such a crucial position in terms of baseball. And obviously you can tell that just by the salaries that some of those guys command, and that's something else that I just can't I can't fathom at this point, to say the least. So San Diego is doing very well so far, though, but again, both pitchers have been struggling, and so it is a tight game, so the pitching and the diagonals might be out of play for us for the most part. Alright, so we are at full count. No, not a full count, sorry. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that one was fouled away on an 81-mile-an-hour slider. Now Ian Desmond has been 0 for 2 on the day. With 2 away, it would be nice if we could just get him on base. But that is it. Strike 3, and that's going to end the inning right now. So, again, they do give up. They are giving up. Sorry, San Diego did give up 1 run, but Colorado is able to, unfortunately, has to leave men on base in scoring position. So that'll be interesting to see. But let's go to the board and just see what happens and kind of check everything out. So it should be updated. Now we can just come through the ranks, and I've gone from 6th back down to 12th, and that is because of that strikeout. So whoever does have San Diego, see, San Diego's pitcher is at 0. Now 0 might not sound like a lot, but when you have 0 in comparison to any sort of minus number, like we are at -4, that is going to be a huge disadvantage. So first place is Rudis, and Rudis does have 3 bingos. Daniel Murphy will be able to give him a 4th one with Tatis, Story, and Murphy. So that is an interesting play. And you can see it's a very balanced board in the sense of Hosmer, Machado, Tatis, Renfroe are all for San Diego, and then the Colorado Rockies are the last 4. So very balanced board in that regard, and I do believe I have Hosmer as well. Yeah, I do have Hosmer, so Hosmer's 2.5 points, but I did need Arenado to actually get on base. Now, had Arenado got on base, my score would be slightly higher. Again, leaving points on the board is always something that's very frustrating. So we see a lot of the usual suspects in here, and again, players are missing a lot of points, and you gotta wonder, like, you're leaving so many points on the board, which is absurd to do, in my opinion. But San Yu is here, and San Yu is missing a lot of positions as well. Again, still has 2 bingo counts and still ranked 4th, based purely on the pitching. So, you know, again, it's one of those things where they can do okay, but it's not sustainable, I don't think. But we'll see, because again, the scores seem very close. I mean, in other games, when you see a drop-off in points, you know, going from, say, like an 11 to like a 6 or something, it's usually because you see the difference in who is choosing who for which pitcher. But this has been a fairly consistent board all around for everybody, which is interesting. So even if we look at TG Kim's gone with San Diego still, but missing a lot of players, so it'll be interesting kind of seeing how that all plays out. But anyways, John Gray is still pitching, has a 4.16 ERA. He's 10-7 on the year. He has 139 strikeouts and a 1.39 WHIP. So in comparison to Eric Lauer, I really like these numbers, so I wanted to go with John Gray. And so unfortunately, it doesn't look like John Gray as of yet has been able to find his stride, but against Manny Machado, he is Machado's 0-0 so far today. So this is his first at bat. And Machado is on my board. Now, it puts me in a very tough situation because Machado, and that is high and inside on a low off-speed pitch. So that is a ball. And Machado gets a hit to the shortstop, Trevor Story, and Story guns it to first, and Daniel Murphy gets him out. So Machado is ground out at first, and that's probably the best case scenario for what we need right now. Basically, the issue for me in this position is that my pitching is already at a -4, so I can't have him. The more hits that we're going to get, it's going to be tougher for us to dig ourselves out of that pitching hole. Now we do have Eric Hosmer up, and again, Eric Hosmer has 2.5 points for us, which is huge, but I need to get out of the negatives in terms of my pitching, and so that's going to be the big thing. And there's a foul ball. Wow, great catch by that young child right there. That ball was moving fast. Let me tell you, that was not a slow ball. And we're going to see the replay right here. Jumping up, saving the woman behind him. That would have hit her right in the stomach. That is something else, let me tell you what. The 0-1 pitch. Ooh, and another foul ball. But this one actually goes off of Hosmer himself, so that looks like it might have hurt. That was an 88-mile-an-hour slider. So he's 0-2 right now. So Eric Hosmer could potentially end up striking out, which would be unfortunate for us, but at the same time beneficial for us. So again, it puts you in a tough situation when you have opposing teams going at it and you're trying to find that balance of points. But at this point, I really definitely want the Colorado pitching to do something else, anything else, just to get a few more points, because I need to get out of the negatives, and that's at this point the thing that I am focused on and I think is most crucial. Ooh, and there it goes. Eric Hosmer goes down swinging. Strike 3. Phenomenal pitching by John Gray, and that is exactly what we needed. So that's going to, there we go. So Eric Hosmer still has points for us, which is great, and yet we are only -2 now for our pitching. So we need our pitching to really step up, and that's going to give us a lot more benefits. So if we do go back and just take a quick look, you know, we can just have fun with it. There we go. So we'll go through this list a little bit. So I'm currently 11th. And again, missing so many players, and that is absurd. And there's a beautiful strike right down the middle. That was an 89-mile-an-hour slider, so the count is 1-1. I just want to go through and kind of see. There's a lot of people that we see time and time again. And again, if you're going to miss players, that's kind of the position you want to be able to miss players at. And there is a quick drive to the second baseman, Yuri Alice, and it's an easy toss for first. And that's another out. So that ends the inning. That was very, very fast. 3 up, 3 down. Yeah, I mean, you can't really ask for much more from John Gray, and I think that's kind of what we needed. So we'll see kind of how that plays out. And look at that. I am now at 1 point, and I've jumped right now from 11th to 7th just off of a few points. So what we needed was to get out of those negative points, and now we've done it. So now we can actually focus on bingos and what we can do offensively. So now it's going to be up to the rest of Colorado to actually put some points on the board and really fight to come back. And I think they can do that, and I think I'll feel a lot better about all of this once that happens. But until then, we'll see. So Rudis, who is in first place, is you can see they've picked San Diego as their pitcher, and San Diego has 0 points now. So we actually have more points for our pitching than they do at this point. So, but hopefully we can get a few more out of our pitching staff, or out of our bats this time around. Even though we are starting later in the batting order, because I know we have to go through McMahon and then Daza, Walters, and Gray. So it's going to be a tough inning, I think, for us to get through. But I'm going to be optimistic. I definitely hope that Mahomes can do something, because again, he is on our board, so that'll be huge for us if he can do something. So let's actually see who is at the bottom right now. Again, you know what? Why you're at the bottom? Because you're missing players. Now, picking the Colorado pitcher aside is one thing, but you know, as I mentioned, you can't be missing players, especially in key positions and demographics, right? There's a 0 bingo count, and that's purely because there's no corners to play off of, no diagonals, and that's kind of a huge thing. King Kong, again, missing a lot of players, and you can't really do much if you're missing that many players. So there's a reason for why a lot of people are in the position that they are. So here we go. I see Jay Style, San Diego pitching. So you know, the last few days, me and Jay Style have kind of been you know, going head to head, and so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, because right now Jay Style is second, but very consistent, very consistent. But did choose San Diego for the win, where I have chosen Colorado. So let's just see how this one plays out. Like I said, and there is a drive to right field, and Hunter Renfroe is there, but that will get Mahomes on the board, on our board. So that should give us a bingo right there, and we have now jumped, as you can see, boom, third place. That's all it took, is one bingo, so that was great. So that is exactly what we needed, and I am so glad that I chose him just for that one moment, and then also put him there in that very strategic spot of Blackman and Story and Mahomes. Now I'm in third place, so we can actually take a look at that as well. So Jay Style is still up, does not have Mahomes, but again, -1. So did not lose a lot, but I am catching, I am closing the gap, and so that's kind of the key thing, especially when it comes to baseball. You know, you do have to grind out these innings. You have to really be able to, you know, fight for a lot of these things. So it's just part of it as a game itself, and I'm definitely very optimistic right now about where we are. Ooh, fastball, tight and inside, 92 miles an hour. So being in third is awesome, but let's just see who is behind it. Mindal is missing Aaron Hedges. Aaron Hedges is not playing today for San Diego. Ooh, in the dirt. But as you can see, Tatis has 9 points for them. I would assume from the home run earlier. Colorado has 1, so if Nick Arenado gets them a point, they should be able to jump me in terms of points, because I believe that is 1.3 times for the middle vertical choice. But we will see. We will see how that plays out. And again, we don't have to worry about Arenado coming through the lineup for a while, so it would be interesting if they actually get through. But Daza is on still. The count is 2-1. And Eric Lauer has got to be wondering what has happened, and knowing that he can't give up this game, and for a 5th straight start against the Rockies lose. Boom! And there is a strike. That was an 88-mile-an-hour cutter. Great pitch. 2-2 is the count. So Jonathan Daza is 0-1 for the day, but only has a 120 average. So has struggled significantly this year. Definitely one of those things you don't want. Like, you don't want a lot of your outfielders to be. Ooh, and they call time. Something happened there. But Mindal, like I said, I believe if Mindal does get Arenado, gets a hit from Arenado, then they will be able to jump us. So that will be interesting to see. Who else do they have in their lineup? Ooh, and there is a drive into the gap in center field, and that'll be good for a base hit. So they're going to hold. So the runners will advance, and Jonathan Daza surprises everybody and gets a hit, and that's good for a single. And so now Colorado, who is behind, has the go-ahead run on first and second. Wow, okay, so Colorado coming back. Not going to say I saw this happening. but I'm optimistic. I think that Colorado can come back. Like I said, there's a lot of numbers that I looked at when I was when I evaluate a team, when I'm looking at my ranking ball. I definitely think about a lot of different. I think about a lot of different statistics. I go through a lot of different statistics. I'll look at their overall record, obviously the ERAs of both pitching staffs and the bullpens. Looking at batting averages, I'm looking at on-base percentages, things like that. So I want to consider all those factors, and obviously, like even with yesterday's game, I was looking at a lot of like, well, Arizona needs wins, and so they're going to be fighting for them a lot more. So that's kind of why I went with Arizona yesterday, and it paid off very well. So I'm hopeful that the decision to go with Colorado will make a huge impact today. But Waters is on, so let's see who has Waters and see if we can find how having Waters would have an impact. Now, the one thing about this game is that it is harder as you look around to find some of these people who are later in the lineup, and that's fair because even on myself, I don't want to put guys who are later in the lineup just because their batting averages are usually lower for a reason. There's another foul, but we will see if we can find something. Nope. Oh, they do have Waters right there. So Waters, though, is in a very peculiar position. And again, we talk about the lack of players. When you're missing players, that's a huge problem. Like you can't do that and expect to win. That's kind of the biggest thing that I've tried to stress a lot when you're playing ranking ball. And there's a hit. That is another base hit all the way to deep right field, and they're actually going to steal the base, but that is a terrible stolen base idea, and they actually get the out well in time at home plate. So terrible call by the third base ump, who actually made the decision for him to steal home, and San Diego gets the out. So good play by San Diego, but I do not know what the heck Colorado was thinking. And there's the boom, and he has nowhere to go, and that is obviously, it's one of those positions too where you don't want to have to run down the catcher. Now that's usually where you see a lot of catchers get run over, and one of the reasons is if you hit, so the theory essentially is that if you hit the catcher hard enough, he's going to drop the ball, and if he drops the ball, then it's not technically an out because he has to have possession of the ball. So that is usually where you see runners try to run down the catcher, but I think in this position it was pretty clear that he was not going to be out, and that was a terrible call to try to steal home. I get you're behind, I understand that. That's not what you need though. So with that base hit, let's see, Ran had 19.95 points and was ranked 15th, and now if we go back and take a look, look at that. So gets 1 point for the base hit, and just off of that, it goes from 19th to 12th. So and there's a very beautiful backhander, and that is the double play, and that ends the inning. Wow. Okay, so that changed very, very fast as John Gray grounds into a double play from Urialis to Fernando Tatis, all the way back to Eric Hosmer in the first. Oh my goodness, that was a great play. And that's the problem that you get when you have pitchers playing, or when you have pitchers having to bat. Stuff like that happens. But Ran M is a good example of how much this game can change, and in a hurry. So like I said, 1 point, and they jumped 7 spots. And they only have the ability to get a single. Like they do have one bingo, and it's I guess they can get the 2. They can get the vertical and they can get the 1 diagonal. But that's where you're going to get points, and it's amazing how much you can actually move and how much mobility there actually is in this game. So we will go back to Colorado being on defense, and it'll be interesting to see now again how John Gray. John Gray. How John Gray responds. I was going to say Eric Lauer, but Eric Lauer was just on. But let's take a look. So I am currently in third, as I mentioned before. I have 27.8 points. So I'm about 4 points back of second of J Style, and their pitching is at 0 right now. What about first place? Rudis, 0, yeah. So looks like Daniel Murphy would be good for him. So I don't know if we'll actually get to Daniel Murphy, because I believe we actually have to go through the bottom of the lineup again. Or are we starting with Tatis? Ooh, and there's a great play for one away. So Josh Naylor grounds out. Second baseman Ryan McMurphy does advance, and Daniel Murphy, Hunter Renfroe goes to second. But that is a beautiful catch by Daniel Murphy. And, oh my gosh, Ryan McHome. Great catch. But, man, like, they are making Murphy work out there today. And all the throws back to Murphy have just been a little off. And he's had to really stretch out on some of these. Great. So we can pull this guy up. Wait, that's not what I want. There we go. Boom. So our pitching is still solid. We still have 1 for pitching. Now, that's not usually the kind of numbers that we're used to, but these aren't the type of pitchers that we're normally used to either. But again, we still have 27.8, so our position is still staying strong. Now, who is up right now? We have Urialis is up. So let's find somebody who has Urialis and kind of see, and we can break down their board and just take a look at how they are playing it out. 89-mile-an-hour curveball. Let's see. Again, it is harder to find people who have some of these guys in the later half of their lineups, because, you know, traditionally speaking, they don't have the best batting averages. So let's see here. No, Story, Blackman, no Waters. Okay, well, somebody has Waters. Waters was hard to find earlier. Oh, there we go, Urialis. So, basically right here, this is the one of 2 bingos that Chorung can get. Now, they do have 2 bingos so far, but I assume that those 2 bingos came. Ooh, and there is strike 3 off an off-speed breaking ball. That is a great pitch by John Gray, and that is exactly what we needed. Right there, just low and outside. Beautiful placement. And Urialis goes down swinging. So Chorung needed Urialis to get some sort of point so they could potentially line up a bingo with Blackman, the San Diego pitching, and Urialis. But now after that strikeout, that does not look like it's going to go well. So right now they're in 6th place with 27.1 points. But if we go back, we can kind of take a look and see what happens. 6th place, yeah, so they have dropped to 8th place by 1 point. Boom. Grounds to the shortstop, Ryan Mahome, and again tosses it quickly to Daniel Murphy. And that will end the inning. Bam. Great inning. Great inning by John Gray. So John Gray is starting to come back. And as we've talked about before, you know, getting that pitching score up is really what's crucial. And right now we have gotten that. And so we are now 2nd. And J Style, who again did choose San Diego, has dropped significantly. Well, maybe not significantly, but they have dropped in the rankings. So we were 3 and they were number 2, and J Style has now dropped to 5th, where we have taken not a significant lead, but we have taken a strong position in 2nd place behind Rudis, who has 35.55. Now again, Rudis does have San Diego as their pitcher, so it'll be interesting to see this inning, kind of how that plays out on the boards for a lot of people, because this is such a close game that for both teams, figuring out who has that better pitching score is going to be interesting. But that being said, I do have 6 points in my batting stream, and I believe we will be going back through the lineup on this. So I believe we will start with Blackman, which would be awesome, because if he can get back on base and then we can get to Arenado, we can actually take advantage of our board right now in terms of the pitching and get that bingo, and that's exactly what we need right now. So we obviously want to maintain that and kind of see how that plays out. But let's actually, like I said, let's take a look at some of the other players and just see what's going on. So we need Blackman, that's great. Rudis does have Blackman as well, but with the pitching, that would be a conflict of interests there. Who else? Mindal. Mindal gets Blackman, and they as well will start to set up that bingo. But again, they need Manny Machado to do something. So a lot of players obviously have Blackman. One of the better players on the team. Again, Blackman is averaging 324, very high, very similar to Tatis. So kind of the numbers that you would want to have on your team, obviously. Let's see who else. Trunk. So as mentioned before, they do have Blackman. So they could have got that bingo now had Urialis not struck out, but that's the unfortunate part. So that is what it is. Ran-M, again, Ran-M was 19th place and now jumped all the way up to 10th place. So you can move very, very easily in this game, and there's a lot of potential for advancement. So, and again, baseball is a very long game, and a lot can change in one inning. So it all depends. You just have to play the long game in this, and so that's where a lot of the numbers do come into play. But we will see. So the first pitch against Charlie Blackman, and that is high, and that is deep, and that is exactly what everybody needs. Boom! Home run. Charlie Blackman with his 24th home run of the year, which is huge for a lot of people, and the boards are going to completely change. And remember, I'm ranked second with 32.8, but Blackman sends the ball deep, says, let me take you back to your seat, I'll show you where to go, and drives it home, and I now have 39.3 points, and that is 6.5 points from Blackman, and that is exactly what everybody was hoping would happen. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so that completely changes the board. So let's take a look and see what's happening. So Ran-M, who we have been talking about, has now gone all the way from 19th to 1st, and it looks like they had a Machado, Colorado pitching, and Blackman bingo, because they only have 2 bingos, but they are now ranked 1st place. So that is the kind of moves that can happen, and that's actually not something that I was expecting either. So that is a phenomenal example of how drastic this game can change in 1 or 2 plays. Wow, so Ran-M is now in 1st. Again, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's sustainable. I think it's a great example of what you can do, but missing 3 players, especially in a critical position like a diagonal, which also does mess you up. They all mess you up horizontally and vertically as well. But you're just giving up a lot of extra points. You're going to leave a lot of points on the board. So it's just unbelievable, though, that they're, like I said, they're that capable of moving around the board. So that's actually really interesting. So, but Trevor Story is up, and again, Trevor Story is also on my board, but he's also on a lot of other people's boards. So Story is also on Rudis' board, who is now 3rd. Again, that would just build up, and we kind of wait for Daniel Murphy to see what happens there, because Rudis does have a potential bingo lined up, and obviously if Trevor Story gets some more points, that's only going to increase that. So it'd be tough for us, I think, at that point. But we are waiting on McMahon if we wanted to finish that. But obviously we do want Arnetto to come through with another great hit. Actually, if Story does get on base, that would work out very well for us, because if Trevor Story gets on base, we would have, and then we have an Arnetto coming up, we have the potential to get 2 bingos in the same play, 1 diagonal, 1 horizontal, and that would give us a ton of points, and that would really help us. And I think that would also really push us into the lead, but almost out of reach at that point too. So Manny Machado is going to be very interesting to see there. Trevor Story for them here as well, and Story grounds it to left field, and that'll be good for a base hit. So we have a lot of potential here to get a lot of points right now on the board. Let's see, again, I am ranked second, but let's see kind of how the rest of the field plays out. And San Diego Padres manager is coming out, and it looks like they might talk to him. Lauer this might be the end of his night. Now again, Lauer started off very strong, but now has given up 3 runs, and the game is tied 3-3. And Colorado has 1 run, the go-ahead run on first. So, again, I now am second place still, 40.3 points. I have 3 bingos, and I have the potential to get 2 more right now if Arenado gets on base, if Arenado, ideal situation, Arenado just goes and takes it deep, and I'll be able to just overtake everybody. Now, that being said, it is a very, very close battle because I have 40.3. Random has 40.7. Now, again, Random is really not going to be doing much, not really a threat because of their lack of players on the board. Like, that's just, I'm genuinely just not worried about that. So I'm going to consider myself first. But Mindal is a bit more of a threat. So Arenado, if Arenado gets them, they're going to have a horizontal, but I will have 2. I will have the diagonal that they can't get, as well as the horizontal that they can get. So there's, again, when you're talking about what these players can do, like it's limited based off of missing 1 player. So I think I'll still be able to take us. I'll still be in the lead even if Arenado scores for them as well, just because they don't have the players to do so. So. Let's see who else needs Arenado. Yeah, so same thing. He's in a horizontal position, but without hedges, we can't fourth place can't do anything about it. So there's other issues that when you're dealing with some of these players. Let's see, Yopebob. Yopebob is very popular here. Yopebob. Arenado, boom. So they will actually get a diagonal here as well. So 1 and 6. 1 and 6, and there we go. Yeah, so let's get back to the game. Boom. Bop it bop. All right. So Matt Stram has come into the game, who has a 5.36 ERA. He's 4-8 on the year in 23 appearances, and he is pitching against Arenado. Arenado, who has a, let me say it, 307 batting average, a 307 batting average. So that is going to be huge for everybody, myself included. Again, Mindal, who is behind me in third, is eligible for a bingo. I am eligible for a bingo. Ooh, and there is a curveball. Outside, ball 1. So a lot of people, Jay Style, Arenado would not give them a bingo because the San Diego pitcher has completely dropped off the boards for them, which has been great for me though, because obviously they've given up 3 runs, hence bringing in Stram. And there's the steal, not in time, safe at second, and that is a great stolen base. So now Colorado does have the go-ahead run in scoring position, and that is a great slide. Ooh, very close, very close. So that has got to start getting into Strom's head. Now Strom, coming into the game, again, you're being put into a very tough situation against a very, very good batter. But that fastball, tight and inside, is not going to cut it. So I'm actually just very nervous about this because I want Arenado to do very well, obviously. The count is 2-1, but if they can walk him as well, I will take that. Ooh, high fastball. Strike 2. So that was 92 miles an hour. The count is 2-2. Arenado, again, 307 batting average, and I'm just hoping for something. Like, just just do something special. Just like I want those 2 bingos because that is so beautifully lined up right now. And can you imagine if he actually drives it and like just sends it deep? Because that would be unreal. So Arenado pulls through on this. You have a 307 batting average. Let's make this happen. Dang it. Dang it. Okay, so that freaking sucks. Oh, man. Okay, so Arenado strikes out. Great pitching by Strom. Going with that 86-mile-an-hour slider. That's... Dang it. Oh, man. Okay, so that ruins that. So I have now... Oh, man. So the bingo that I was hoping for, which I have mentioned before, was the diagonal and the horizontal, as you can see on my board. Now that is completely gone, and I would have had a ton of points off of both of those because Arenado decides to strike out, which is embarrassing for him. So, Ran M is still in first with 40.7 points. Again, I don't see that being a long-term solution for anything because they're missing points. And Rudis now has overtaken us. And that's because of the San Diego pitching. Even though it is -2, there's still a lot going on there. So Mindal has also, again, -1. So they don't get the points either. So a lot of people just drop down in points. And there's a fouled out ball by Daniel Murphy. But Daniel Murphy is on my board. And so, again, if he can even bring home the runner at second, that would be great. Trevor Story is in scoring position right now. This is exciting. This is really exciting. Where are we at currently? Okay, so the count is 0-2. There is one away. One runner on base on second. The score is 3-3. Ooh, fastball. Low and outside. Ball 2. Oh, sorry, ball 1. Ball 1. So who out there needs Daniel Murphy to score them some major points? Again, nope, not the right position. Vote Bob, Daniel Murphy, Daniel Murphy. Oh, wow, so Yo Bob will actually get a huge boost here if Daniel Murphy scores, because he would get that same diagonal that I was kind of hoping for, and then he'd also get the vertical here with Trevor Story and Manny Machado. So if Daniel Murphy scores here, then Yo Bob looks like he will take first place because he is at 37 points right now. So if we get the times 1.1 and the times 1.5 for both those, that's going to be huge for him. So even if Daniel Murphy walks, that's going to jump him up the ladder. And like I said, I believe that'll put him in first. So Yo Bob is currently in 6th place with 37 points, 2 bingo counts, eligible for 2 more based on this Daniel Murphy pitch. Checks the runner at second. They call time. Umpire calls time, and it looks like he was kind of delaying a little bit, so they can only do that for so long. But even if Daniel Murphy gets walked right now, then even if Daniel Murphy gets walked, Yo Bob will get points. And this will be a huge, huge... Ooh! There it goes. Okay. Matt Strom showing what's up and gets his second strikeout of the night right there. 2 away. Wow. Low and outside curveball. Great pitching. Oh, great pitching. And Matt Strom has brought San Diego back into this game through his pitching. So Matt Strom has started to control the bleeding that was caused by Eric Lauer earlier in the game. Popped up 94 miles an hour into right shallow field, and that is an easy catch by Hunter Renfroe, and that ends the inning. So that is 3 away. So we have concluded the inning right there, and Matt Strom, as mentioned before, has slowed the bleeding, at least stopped the bleeding for now, that was caused by Eric Lauer. So that's going to be huge for San Diego moving forward, and if San Diego can salvage this game. Now remember, we are stuck right now at a tie game 3-3, so It's still early, but extra innings are always possible in this situation. And a lot of people, like I said, are losing points. As you can see, I have now dropped down to 4th place because of that, and J-Style has very casually taken over because of San Diego's pitching, even with Daniel Murphy. So, pitching is everything in this game, and I'm hoping for something now. But I believe Tatis will be coming up first in the lineup, I think, because we did go through Lauer. Lauer's the last out. So yeah, Tatis will be up, so I will be eligible right off the bat for a diagonal bingo. Obviously, we did want Arenado to get that, but guy let us down. So it is what it is at this point. So let's just see what else we can get and who else is out there. Now, obviously, Tatis is going to be one of the most popular players out there. Rudis, again, that's going to be building up his potential bingos for diagonal and horizontal. Who else? Okay, so Ran-M is second. Does have Tatis, but won't really do anything for them because they're missing players. J-Style, same thing. We'll build up that, but again, Hunter Renfroe is -1, so Hunter Renfroe is going to have to dig himself out of that hole before anything happens. Let's scroll down and just see who's at the bottom. Missing players. That's what that is. So, who else is way down here? 20th place. Gang Stylist. Waters, Story, Pitcher, blah. They don't even have Tatis. Okay. Who else? Who else do we have here? 15th place. Zeno Sadie. Tatis. Doesn't do anything for them because they can't get any bingos. So, there's not much to talk about with them. But there's a reason why they are in the position that they are. Is because, now that we've kind of gotten to, like, in the beginning of the game, it can be very volatile. Just because, scores and things like that. But now we've kind of, like, there's been scores. The game's kind of been established somewhat. There is a lot of... oh, wow. So Dana's in 10th place with a score of 35 and 1 bingo, is eligible for another bingo if Tatis gets on base here. So that could actually be huge. So let's actually pay attention to Dana's board and watch this as this kind of happens. And Tatis goes and then drills it to Trevor Story, and Story gets it easily in time to Daniel Murphy, and that is an out right there. So 1 away. Tatis does not get on base, so that will be a 0. So Dana's score is going to remain at 35, and that means I don't get the bingo either. So that is unfortunate. So now we have to go through Will Myers. Now the interesting thing about Will Myers that I find, he has 1 L. So is it short for William? Because then you would still use the 2 L's. Because I can't see you spelling William with 1 L, unless it's something else like Wilhelm, Willem Dafoe, right? So I'm curious because, like, his name Will Myers has 1 L, and I'm expecting 2 L's to be in a Will. So I'm actually very curious about that. So unless it's a typo everywhere. Ooh, and there's a foul ball. Great catch by the ball girl, getting in front of it like that. But again, Will Myers is not on my board, but does have a 226 batting average. But again, he is 0 for 2 on the day, but he does have 13 home runs, so he can send it deep if he needs to. And that might be it. Unfortunately, and that is a beautiful catch by Jonathan Daza. Daza kind of comes out of nowhere in the screen to make that catch. What a play. So that is exactly the kind of defense that Colorado needs right now to bail us out, and that is huge. And there's 2 away now. And right now, Manny Machado, who is coming up, is 0 for 1 on the day. Machado has a 271 average with an 834 on-base percentage, 26 home runs. Now, Machado can give us a bingo, and that would be huge. But what else can he do for everybody else? So Machado would give a bingo to Rudis as well, who is in first place, who has 44.05 points, and Machado fouls away on the 4-seam fastball. So Rudis, we know, will get huge points. Ran-M will not. Machado. That will set up for Jay Style. Woohoo! That's an ugly curveball. Super high. Machado. Ooh, wow. Okay, Mindal will actually score very big if Machado gets on base as well. Oh my gosh. John Gray, all of a sudden this inning has now lost the ability to throw his pitches as he is putting them all over the board. And unfortunately, that does not include the strike zone at this point. Ooh, okay. So that was a ball and an 87-mile-an-hour slider. The count is 3-1. Machado gets a hit, but that is a beautiful, beautiful catch by Murphy, I believe. What a play, and that is now 3 away. So that is a very, very fast inning. John Gray, you can see, was not having the best inning, but did manage to survive, and that is huge. So a lot of people let down that inning, myself included, and now we are going to go back to the board and just see what's happening. But if we go check the rank... So I am currently third right now still, but we are waiting for Mahomes. Now Mahomes could give us a horizontal bingo, but that's not necessarily the one that I want. So we're going to have to wait for the rest of the lineup to go through again, and we're going to need Arenado to actually do something before we actually can see some real points. So it's going to be a while, I think. Now that being said, I believe we have also gone through the lineup with the Padres, and I don't think that... Yeah, because I think we've seen Tatis, we've seen Machado there. Oh, actually, no, Mahomes will be coming up right now, so he can get us the bingo, but we don't... I'm not saying that we don't need it or that we don't want it, but when we have this diagonal and this horizontal setup, that is kind of the one that I really want to collect in. I don't want to get a basic little horizontal here when I can get a diagonal which has got 9 plus, so 15.5 points, plus the horizontal that's going to give me another like 3 points. So that's just my opinion. I mean, if I'm thinking strategically, that's what I'm looking for. Now again, Blackman, Machado, they can get one, like Ran-M can get one bingo, but I mean, it's not, there's nothing, I'm surprised that they've been in the game this long. Let's see here. Blackman, Machado missed out on that last one. Ooh, look, puppy. I would not let a dog out onto the field, because the reality is, and I have nothing against dogs, but the reality is they got to go to the bathroom at some point, and you're just gonna like let them go on the field. Like, if I was playing, I would not want to play. I don't want to step in that. I don't want to slide in that. Any of that. That's not the point. Ooh, very high inside fastball, 92 miles an hour. But that is a ball still. So Matt Strom is back after first inning that he pitched was last. Came through and really started to bring the heat down in Colorado and stop the bleeding. So let's see if that can continue here. But Ryan McMahon is up. He has a 267 average. He is 1 for 2 on the day, 12 home runs, and it would be great to see him actually do something here. Now again, he is on my board, and that is a fouled out, but that was a fastball, 93 miles an hour. And again, Mick Mahone will give us at least one bingo, but it'll give a lot of people bingos as well. So Mahone is not on Ruddis, so that means nothing to them. Ran-M does not have Mahone. Ooh, and there's a brutal strike. So the count is 2-2. Mindal does not have either. And again, I picked Ruddis or Mick Mahone just because I wanted something to break up the lineup a little bit from what I had it. Ooh, and there's an ugly What's that? Strike 3. Oh, but they're calling it a foul. So the count is 2-2. There is no away. Let's see, who's about 10? GK35. We haven't seen them before. So they are relying on Tatis to do something. And Tatis did get grounded out earlier in the last inning. But Maya, Myers, again, you're missing so many players. It's hard to actually like do anything. And again, this is a fairly low-scoring game, so the points, so the game is a lot tighter than it would normally be otherwise for a lot of players. As you can see, you know, in this top 5, you're looking at, you know, within 1 or 2 points. So you're not missing by much. And there, oh, and that is off Nolan Arman, sorry. That is off Manny Machado, and so Mahomes gets on base, so that's going to play around with. So if we watch the board right here, you'll see the graphic come up as it registers the hit, and you can see he drives it right down at Manny Machado, and Machado just cannot get a hold of it, and that's going to be an error, but that's good for a base hit. So Mahomes gets the single, so we will get a bingo, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how the board plays out. And again, that was one of the bingos that I really wanted to save because I wanted to get, there it is right there, boom. I wanted to get the vertical and the horizontal and the diagonal, but now I am ineligible for both because neither player, and there's another hit. Oh, and unfortunately Tatis struggles to get a hold of it, can't make the throw to first. After making great plays earlier in the game, actually struggles, and now again, Colorado has runners in scoring position. Boom, and then that, even the pitch or the throw right to first after he hesitates and gets his balance back is just not on point and wouldn't have made a difference either way, even if it was on time. So after that bingo though, boom, I am now in first place with 44 points even. Now Ran M is second with 43.7, so I don't have a very commanding lead. Not the kind of lead that I would have wanted had I got you know, other points through, you know, or diagonal and horizontal. So we'll just have to build that up, and we have to obviously rely on players for that. But I'm optimistic. I am very optimistic. Blackman will be coming through the lineup again very soon. Now we do have Walters up. And Walters has 282 average. He is 2 for 2 on the night with 1 home run. So let's see if he can bring that again. It'll be interesting to see kind of how Matt Strom pitches against him with those numbers in mind, and if he can kind of change up Walters' luck for the night. And Walters fouls away. The count is still 0-2. There's no outs, runners on first and second, and Walters would be a hero right now if he could take the lead somehow and at least get if he can get a double and bring 1 run in for Colorado, that would be huge for everybody, myself included. The 0-2 pitch, and he gets a piece of it. Now that is an easy toss. So there's the toss, there's the out at second, and the out at first, and that is a great double play. And just like that, San Diego's defense digs Strom out of a hole, but 1 runner does advance. So now Colorado has 2 away, but they have a runner on third in scoring position. And unfortunately, they have John Gray coming up to bat, so they might be pinch hitting here. I think that might be a real possibility, and it looks like they might actually review this out. They called him out there, but I don't know. It looks like it's tight. I don't know if they're going to review it, though. It does not look like they are going to. No, they are not. Okay, so they are not reviewing that. But John Gray is up. Now John Gray is 0 for 2 on the night and has a 0.68 batting average. So it is less than 100. His batting average is less than 100. Now he is the pitcher, so we will forgive him. But if he could get his first RBI of the season right here, that would be like, that would make everybody happy. So John Gray at bat. Pitcher against pitcher. Slider. Just outside. 1-1. Now I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that nobody has John Gray on their board. So it's fairly ridiculous to try to look up if anybody has John Gray at this point. But you can see Matt Strom. Ooh, that is an ugly pitch. Deep outside. John Gray, 0-2 on the day. With an RBI, can take the lead, help Colorado take the lead, and gets a piece of it, but fouls it away. Now, in this position, you would. Oh, this is from earlier when John Gray was out before, and they got the double play off of him. That was a beautiful play by Tatis, by the way. Ooh, fouls it again for a third time. So the count is still 2-2. Now, Matt Strom, how embarrassing would that be for him right now to give up a major hit to the pitcher, the opposing pitcher at that, and to let Colorado take the lead right here, right now? That would be something else. But let's see who else we have coming up. Ooh, Apollolik is now last place. Then they have a score of 9.8. Again, they are just missing players and not picking the right players, because you can see Renfroe and Arenado both have -1 for them. So that's going to be a huge problem. Let's see what else we have. So John Gray strikes out. Surprise, surprise. We're moving on. I have now dropped to second, but I think Redis has San Diego as their pitching. So, oh man, so yeah, if he gets Arenado, like, that would have been huge. But again, that's something that I was kind of aware of. And I do, like I said, I too have Arenado, so had he just taken that W right there, then I would have gotten points, he would have gotten points, and I think it's better to clear those out than to just keep leaving them on the board. And like, even for example, right now, Eric Hosmer is going to be coming up, and Eric Hosmer for me has 1.5 points. So if he gets on base, he'll have 2.5 points, and then my pitching is going to go down 1 point. So it's a weird trade-off, right? Whereas if we just clear one of them, then I can root for the other one, and it makes it a lot easier. But especially with my pitching at 9 points, I want to collect those points, and I don't want to lose them, because if they go to a horizontal that I can't necessarily get, but I can get the diagonal, well, then I've lost points on that 1.5 times. So strategy is very, very critical when you're actually deciding where to put players. But Machado, so if we do have Hosmer up right away, then that means we won't actually see anybody else through the... Yeah, we won't see anybody else through the lineup then. So that's going to be a while then before we actually... So if Hosmer does get something, or if he doesn't, regardless, we're going to be relying purely on the pitching for this inning, because Machado and Tatis we won't see for the rest of the inning, I don't think. At least if the inning goes right for Colorado, we won't have to see them. But obviously, if John Gray has a complete breakdown in terms of pitching, then that's when we're going to have a problem. And our ranking ball board might be over anyways. So we are in a very good position right now, and I'm very happy with where we're at. But again, like, this game can go either way, because I do have Colorado as my pitcher, but it's a tie game, so it's so tight right now, and this is where it's getting interesting. So I'm very excited and I'm very optimistic right now where both teams can go. But we will have to see. And we are back at the game. Beautiful night in San Diego. I would tell you what the name of San Diego actually means, but we're trying to keep this channel a little more PG, so I can't actually say what it is. If you know, though, you know. That's the truth. Anyways, ooh, and there's an ugly strike by Hosmer. So Osmer 0-2 already against John Gray. So we're in the bottom of the 6th right now. Again, tie game, 3-3. John Gray still in the game. Ooh, low and inside. Ball 1. Count is 1-2. And I have Hosmer, and Hosmer can give me some weird points. But let's just see who else is out there and what Hosmer would do for them. Does not have Hosmer. Oh, he does. Oh man, that would be tough. Yeah, because that would build up the diagonal, and then if Murphy comes through, ooh, and Hosmer goes down swinging, and John Gray is just starting to come together right now. So Hosmer now, so as you can see, Hosmer went from 1.5 points for me to 0.5 points, so it doesn't technically have a point, if you will. But my pitching has gone up to 11 points now, so now I am very reliant on those diagonal pitches, on those diagonal points. So I'll, again, the only one that I would necessarily be eligible for would be Arenado, who would need to do something special, like get a double, and then I would need Blackman to do something again. But again, we have to go through the lineup, so we have to wait till the end of this inning to actually see that happen, to see what goes on. But as you can see, I've now dropped down to 3rd behind Ran M. And again, I'm surprised that they're actually in this game so far, but as I've mentioned before, it's going to kind of see how the game plays in regards to who's going to start scoring runs and who's going to actually win this game. But I can't see them being there that high up as the game goes on, even if Colorado wins, just because they don't have the board to necessarily continue that kind of run. But you know, good on them for being up there. So King Kong is now up here. I don't know how you get to 4th place when you're missing 4 players. Like that's, okay, that's just like ridiculous. Like the like 4th place should not have this many missing pieces. Like there's like, that's, come on, that's ridiculous. Jay Styles is 5th, hasn't. Who is up right now? Hunter Renfroe is up, so we can look for Renfroe. So Renfroe is -1 right now. So if Hunter Renfroe does get on base, that is going to give Jay Styles some big points that he needs and clear his board up a little bit for that diagonal. But we will see what happens. So let's see what happens. Again, he's ranked 5th place. Ooh, beautiful slider, 87 miles an hour. Count is 2-1. Hunter Renfroe for the day is 0-2, but does have a 234 average, an 836 on-base percentage, and 30 home runs on the year. Hunter Renfroe. Ooh, and fouls it out. 2-2. Again, Renfroe has done okay on the year, but not ideal. For me personally, I don't think he's on my board, so if he wants to strike out, that's cool with me. Yeah, he's not on my board, so it would help my pitching and it would take away from Jay Styles. So, like, strike out. That'd be cool, bro. And he pops it up to deep left field. Deep. And Ian Desmond is there for the out. So that's not exactly what I wanted, because I wanted to take away a few more points from Jay Styles. But I will take that anyways. So there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. And 1 on base. So let's see. Josh Naylor is now up. Josh Naylor is 0 for 2 on the day as well. 236 average, 660 on base percentage, and 4 home runs on the year. So I don't know who would have Josh Naylor, just because, again, when you're this far down on the board, it's not. Let's see. Naylor, nope. Oh, they have Josh Naylor. Oh, so here we go. Look at that. Vidican can get a bingo here, and so they're in 25th place right now with a score of 18. And there's a wild pitch that cannot get a hold, and he stole 2nd. Ooh, but he waits, and San Diego is able to get a stolen base, but Colorado holds him. You can see just off the dirt, and that's the issue that you have to be very aware of when you're dealing. You can see the catcher's looking for it. Can't get a handle on it while it's in the air. Padres third base coach making sure to wave down and telling him not to steal third. So Josh Naylor 0-2 for the day, up in the count 3-0 or 3-0. Let me apologize, 3-0. But Vitacan Coem can get a bingo here, which would propel them very high in the boards. I think they're currently ranked 25th overall. But any sort of on base here would be huge, and Naylor gets the walk. Low and inside, ball 4. So Naylor gets the point. So let's take a look here. So right now, Vitacan Coem is in 25th place, and they have a score of 18, and they have 1 bingo. So now they have 2 bingos here. So we'll actually be able to see in real time how far they've gone. So let's go back and check that out. So 25th to 18. So, oh, that didn't actually do much for them. So they went from 25th to 24th. But they had 18 points, and now they have 21.3 points. So it didn't do much, but, you know, I think some people are just going to take what they can get. Oh, man. So, I'm still in third place, but my board is looking rather empty, unfortunately. And again, one of the kind of the downsides that we're going to face when you get towards the bottom of the lineup, when you have a lot of players that you might not necessarily have on your board. So like myself, I'm usually only using the top 4 or 5 pitchers or top 4 or 5 batters in a lineup. So when we get to this point in the lineup, you just have to wait to get through it, and then hopefully that when the players that you do have on your board make the most of their opportunity. That's kind of, I mean, you're always going to get production out of guys late in your late in the lineup. You know, like Urialis, who is up, is 1 for 2, but he only has a 145 average and a 531 on base percentage from 1 home run on the season. Now, you know, typically I'm not going to want to pick somebody like that, but you know, there's not like, I mean, when you're playing 100 some odd games, at some point he's going to hit more home runs. At some point he's going to hit some more RBIs. He's going to get on base. So even with a 145 average, there's still reason to just take a chance sometimes, and maybe you get lucky on that chance and he can be that winning bingo position for you. And right there, grounds it to the shortstop, Trevor Story. Oh, and Story misses the throw, and this is exactly what I'm talking about right now. Luis Urialis, who, oh my gosh. So Urialis, who is 1 for 2 in the day with a 145 average, is able to get on base. And is that an RBI? Was that an RBI for him as well? Yes. So San Diego is actually up now 4-0 or 4-3. And so you can see right there, Trevor Story makes the catch, but the throw is nowhere where it needs to be. Boom, right there. So again, they have been having trouble getting the ball to Daniel Murphy, and that allows 1 run to score. And now San Diego has started to come back, and they have runners in scoring position on first and third. But that is what I'm talking about in regards to who was it? Urialis, who has a 145 batting average. The kind of unpredictability that baseball brings, and the kind of just, you know, when you're dealing with this many plays and this many at-bats and this many games per season, the mathematical improbabilities happen regularly. And I don't want to say regularly, but they do happen. So something to be aware of when you are making some of these boards. And so very quickly, as you can see, because of what's happened in the change of events, I've gone from third place and I've dropped all the way down to 12th. So I believe everybody else who would be up here would be everybody I think is going to be a San Diego pitcher, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure everybody here is going to be would have chosen San Diego because their points would have been going up very high right now, whereas Colorado pitchers have dropped significantly. But that is a great pitch right there. So Greg Garcia has been a pinch hitter right now for Matt Strahm. But 0-0 for the day. He does have a 277 average, and they check the runner at first. So Garcia does have 3 home runs as well in the season. And, you know, as mentioned before, there are mathematical probabilities that can happen. But again, Garcia is not going to be on anybody's board, but we can actually take a look at Rudis and see how the heck did that happen. This is very interesting because I don't know where they are at right now. Well, I mean, I know we had because we had Urialis, but nobody has Urialis, so I don't know how I ended up getting dropped so dramatically. That surprises me. But no time to dwell on it. And there's another wild pitch. Oh my goodness. Okay. And 1 run will score. Oh man. And now Colorado has shown their colors and the kind of defensive team that they are. But I think it's time to get Matt Gray out of there. Now, Matt Gray was having a great game earlier, but this is not a good position to be in. As you can see, pitch just gets away from him. Catcher can't get a handle of it. Tries to get it back to Gray, but not in time. And that's one of the reasons why they want to pitch the runner as well. So that is extremely unfortunate. And I can tell you right now, we are probably going to drop even further now as San Diego takes a 5-3 lead. Now there are 2 outs, 1 runner at second in the bottom of the 6th. And John Gray needs to be able to calm down and bring himself together right now. But this goes to show how this game can change in a hurry, just in a few pitches. So Greg Garcia. Ooh, strike. Great slider. 3-2, full count. 2 away, 1 on base. San Diego is up 5-3. And John Gray needs to get out of this inning because he has let another 2-run score. And maybe they left him in for an inning longer than they should have. Because my bingo board is being screwed over by him now. Fouled away. Count remains 0-2. But again, I am now in 12th place where I was at, I was flirting with first and I was at first for a bit. But, I mean, it goes to show, you have to pick the right pitcher, right? And then there's a lot of potential in this board for Jay Style to get more points. Multiple bingos here, 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 here. So, you have to build those opportunities. Ooh, and that is an ugly pitch again. And you know what? They need to actually pull Gray at this point because he's just walked another batter. And I believe we are going back to the top of the lineup. So Tatis will come in, but the Rockies manager will also come out. And for his sake, I hope they pull Gray. Now remember, my pitching score was at 11 coming into this inning. And now it's at 7. And my rank was 3rd, I believe, 2nd or 3rd. And my rank is now a solid 15 overall. So I am below the 50% mark in terms of where the other teams are. So that is very unfortunate. So, and Tatis, again, 2 for 3 on the night, 328 average, and 22 home runs. And he is a definite threat for everybody. And he's on my board, which is great. And I could use some points, but those points are going to take away from a pitching score that I really need as well. Oh my gosh, this is not a good position to be in. And as you can see, Rudis, obviously, everybody else is going to have Tatis as well. So Tatis is going to help everybody, unfortunately. So, yeah, again, Tatis right there. Boom. That would give them a bingo, and they're already in second. So J Style, Tatis, building up more points. Not good. Dana, Tatis, right there gives them a huge bingo. So Dana could jump significantly if Tatis gets even 1 point, because Blackman has 7.5, and then the San Diego pitching has 8. So that would be huge, and that is a diagonal. So again, times 1.5. So man, so there's a lot of players ahead of us right now. There's another one right there. I note 0126. Like that, they're gonna have a bingo. They're 6th place right now, and they're gonna get a bingo if Tatis gets even on base. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out now. But so Tatis will have to come out, and it'll be interesting to see kind of how this plays. And we have a new pitcher now. We do have a new pitcher, so that is something that I thought should have happened probably this inning. Jairo Diaz has appeared in 35 games this year with a record in 4-2. Does have a 4.98 ERA. So let's just see what the right-hander can bring today, and see if he can get out of the inning and stop the bleeding that is Colorado currently. And the first pitch to Tatis, it's a slider, 87 miles an hour, just out low and outside. Ball 1. Jairo Diaz. Ooh, oh my goodness, that's sending a message to Tatis. That is a very, very tight inside fastball. And you can see Tatis jumping out of the way right there. That is, wow. I thought that might have got him, actually. I was kind of worried about that one. So, the count is 2-0, 2 away, 2 on base. The score is 5-2. And Tatis gets an easy one hopper. And that is, oh my gosh, Jairo Diaz just completely embarrasses himself. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Oh my, that's stupid. I like, are you kidding me right now? Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so so they bring Diaz in. He makes the catch right there. It's an easy toss, and you overthrow Daniel Murphy. What the? Are like, how do you, like, you're a freaking pitcher and you overthrow a 20-foot toss? Like, how? Like, okay. So San Diego is now up 6-3. Oh my gosh. Okay. This game is over for me, at least in terms of ranking bowl. Like, there's no like, I'm not coming back from this unless Colorado starts pulling off amazing hit after hit after hit. But that's right in the gap in right center field. That's going to allow another score, and there's 2 outs, and come on. And just like that, Colorado blows a tie game, and the home crowd, San Diego Padres, are loving it. I myself am very much in disgust at this point. And just drives it out right into the gap in left center field. That's a huge play for San Diego, and San Diego is is now up 8-3 on Colorado. And Manny Machado is up. Again, Machado could get us points. But in all honesty, I mean, the game is over for me. Like I said, I'm not going to come back from this one. In the gap, and that is going to end the inning. That is a great play by Jonathan Daza. Catches it, fly out. Oh my gosh, okay. So that was just ugly. That was ugly. And Jero Diaz should just, like, oh my gosh. Okay, so John Gray was definitely, like, doing not great that inning, but we didn't need those last 2 runs. So we'll go back to the board and quickly take a look, and you can see that I am now at 14th place, and Dana, looks like Dana got that bingo as we were talking about before, so that's huge. Good for them. Dang it though, that one hurts. Yeah, so I've got a score of 45.5. Chorong has a score of 66.7, and it doesn't look like I'll be able to come back because I don't think Colorado comes back down 8-3. So it looks like this game is over. But don't forget to check your Ranking Ball score. Hopefully you did better than me today, and that was nothing. So hopefully you do better than I do. Don't forget, check out Ranking Ball and all that cool stuff. Check out the mobile application and check your score, and we will see you next time.